following is an exclusive presentation of Ravens Productions.
Coming up on this week's Ravens Report, Justin Tucker delivers again, this time in record-breaking fashion. Mark Andrews is mic'd up for the Ravens' dramatic last-second win in Detroit. Plus, we sit down with wide receiver Sammy Watkins and head coach John Harbaugh. All that and more on this week's Ravens Report.
He's the 15, 10, 5, touchdown Ravens. They are dancing in the aisles. Oh, what a scene we have at M&T.
Welcome to this week's edition of Ravens Report from the Under Armour Performance Center. I'm Evan Washburn. What a win in Detroit, and what a first 3 weeks of this season. If you pitch the script of these first 3 games to Hollywood, they may send it back saying it's just too dramatic. Well, thankfully for the Ravens, this is reality television, and they now sit at 2-1, largely due to a historic kick from Justin Tucker. 66 yards to win a game and further cement his status as arguably the greatest kicker in NFL history. Up next for Tucker and the Ravens, a trip to Denver to take on an undefeated Broncos team who've surprised many with their hot start to the season. But before we head out west, let's travel back to Detroit and relive all the twists and turns of an incredible game through the lens of Ravens Wire and Mark Andrews, who was mic'd up.
The last time they came to Detroit, they needed 6 Justin Tucker field goals and a 61-yard winner at the end on a Monday night game. I think it's a universal hope in Ravens Nation to have an easier win than that today.
This is 61 yards. The longest kick Tucker's ever attempted. On the way, drifting right, and it is good! It is good! Unbelievable!
To have an opportunity like that at the end of the game and to come through for my team. Like I said, at a time when we need it, this is big time. Just to sum it up in just one word, pandemonium.
It's like deja vu all over again.
We in the Lions Den, baby! Yes, sir! Let's go!
It's not the trip the Ravens make often, but today they arrive in Detroit, Michigan. It's week 3 of the NFL season. The Ravens looking for their first road win of the season.
Yes, sir! Let's go! Let's go!
I'm kind of tapped out emotionally when it comes to these buzzer beaters, right?
Hopefully, for the Ravens' sake, it does not come down to needing Justin Tucker to drill another 61-yarder.
Let's just attack, take care of the football, convert on 3rd down, and head back to Baltimore.
Let's go! Hey! O-line, let's go! All day, baby. We need y'all. Let's go! Come on! Let's get it. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Yes, sir. Dominate. From the jump, baby. Let's go. This is it, man. This is it. Here we go. Kick ass on 3. 1, 2, 3. Kick ass.
This is where the chess match begins. We'll get a look at that adjusted defensive front, missing 4 regulars.
Let's go, G!
Ravens bring a blitz right up the middle. Goff under pressure, hit and spun down with a sack. Chuck Clark and Deshaun Elliott came on a dual blitz from the secondary.
Let's go. That's a no scores, right? 3 drives, no scores. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Now he's got room to run. Tucks and runs 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and he's finally put to the turf.
I want you to go now.
I know. I thought 8 was about to go get a touchdown.
Yes.
How'd he get caught?
Backside, you got front side, backside had an angle. That's the only reason. If he would have went sideline initially.
That's why I tried to show him. I was like, I'm going, yeah.
Lobs to the end zone. Touchdown, Devin Duvernay! A leaping grab in the back corner of the end zone. And the Ravens are in the end zone for the first time this afternoon. All of a sudden, this is game on in Detroit where the crowd is on its feet. 17-16 Detroit in front of the Ravens, which means it's up to Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense to pull the plug on Ford Field and regain control of this game. 4th and 19. They need a miracle now to avoid a huge upset. Lamar Jackson in an empty backfield. Lions will rush 3. Jackson with time, steps up in the pocket, looking, now he throws, he's got a man open, Sammy Watkins has it midfield, and he slides down at the 47-yard line. Justin Tucker runs on the field. This is going to be an epically long field goal. A 66-yard field goal try for Justin Tucker. It will be the longest in NFL history if it's good. Tucker's kick is on the way. It is good! Off the crossbar, and it tumbles through. It is good! Justin Tucker with the longest field goal in NFL history.
Talking about this forever. No doubt. So proud of you, buddy.
We got something special. We've known that.
What a kick and what a moment for Tucker and the Ravens, who, as you would imagine, celebrated a hard-fought victory all the way back to Baltimore. And coming up next on Ravens Report, we sit down with Sammy Watkins, whose clutch catch on 4th and 19 set up that Tucker game winner. Stay with us. Welcome back to Ravens Report, presented by MedStar Health. I'm Evan Washburn. Football is the ultimate team game, and while Justin Tucker's record-breaking kick has led all the highlights this week, and for good reason, the play that set up the kick cannot be forgotten. After 3 straight negative plays, the Ravens were in a desperate 4th and 19 situation with time running out when Lamar Jackson was able to step up and deliver a strike to Sammy Watkins, who made his biggest catch as a Raven and further validated his presence as a big-time playmaker that this passing game is needed. He's now second on the team with 208 receiving yards and seems very at home here in Baltimore. For more, here's Watkins with Shelby Granath.
Sammy Watkins, everybody. Watkins.
Got a man open. Sammy Watkins has it midfield. Sammy Watkins, 20-yard line, over the shoulder catch.
I can never get enough. Come on. Woo. I can never get enough.
Sammy, it's been a few wild weeks with some crazy finishes, most recently in Detroit. Now, before Justin Tucker could even go out there to attempt a field goal, this team was up against 4th and 19. What was going through your mind lining up for that play?
I have faith until it's over, and I ran my route fast as I could run it. Everybody did a perfect job blocking, running routes, and Lamar threw a dime, and we got the first down. And you still in your mind thinking like, man, 66 yards. Like I don't think no kicker can make it in my eyes.
You mentioned it, 66 yards. Be honest, did you think it had a chance?
I don't think nobody thought we had a chance. And give that one to God, like, wow, Justin is, in my eyes, he's been one of the best kickers in my eyes, but now it's like, okay, I think this guy's unbelievable. I don't see nobody else doing that for a long time, and that was something special for not only him, but for the whole organization and for us as his teammates.
What was the sideline like when you saw it go in and you all realized you won the game?
I was just as shocked as everybody else. I couldn't even get up and jump around. I was like, no, this can't be real. And honestly, it's just like, I'm even still just looking back at the kick like, what in the world? This dude just hit more than half of the field, 66 yards. I think on a good day, I think he would drill a 67, 68. And from this point on, shoot, forget the punts. Like, let's try it out.
Lamar threw some dimes in that game. The offense took some deep shots. Unfortunately, a few narrowly missed. What needs to happen for those big plays to connect?
Everybody is new. I'm new to this team, and I'm just trying to add my part to it. But I think just being consistent. If you look at what we was doing, I think we left a lot of plays on offense in general. I've been dropping balls, Hollywood been dropping balls, so it's been looking like a bit of a drop-off, but I think we just got to consistently make those plays. And Lamar been doing his job, and we just got to make plays for him.
You've been in Baltimore for a few months now. Have you been able to get out and kind of enjoy and explore the city?
I haven't gotten a lot, but I definitely have been eating a lot of seafood. The seafood is awesome. Had some last night, so I definitely been enjoying my time. I'm a big Florida guy, seafood, and the seafood is definitely awesome.
Before you go, we're gonna do a few rapid fire this or that. Dog or cat?
Dog.
Board game or video game?
Video games.
French fries or onion rings?
French fries.
If you had a superpower, would you want to fly or be invisible?
I would definitely say fly.
I think both would be pretty helpful as a wide receiver.
For sure. I would definitely love both. Just pop up somewhere and he's dart me. That would be wonderful.
At the movies, popcorn or candy?
I'm always going to go with the popcorn. You need the popcorn to eat, butter on it, you know what I mean?
This could be a make or break one, but based on another answer, I think I know which one you'll pick. Crab cakes or barbecue?
Oh, that's hard. I'm going to go with the barbecue, honestly. Reason being is you can eat a crab and get the crab taste and stuff like that. But barbecue, you can't. There's so much into it. And then the sides, you know, you got the macaroni, the cabbage, rice, sweet potato pie. So it's a lot when you're trying to eat barbecue.
Keep making plays on the field, and Ravens flock might forgive you for that one. Sammy, thank you so much for your time, and good luck in Denver.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And explosive plays in the passing game was a focus all offseason for this offense. And through the first 3 weeks of the season, the Ravens are off to a strong start with 21 pass plays of 20-plus yards, second most in the NFL. And no doubt, Sammy Watkins is a big part of that. And he, along with the rest of the wide receivers, will look to keep that momentum rolling in the thin air of Denver this Sunday. Coming up next on Ravens Report, we preview the matchup with the Broncos with the head coach, John Harbaugh.
Ravens Report is brought to you by MedStar Health, the official medical team of the Baltimore Ravens, and you, MedStar Health. It's how we treat people.
Welcome back to this week's edition of Ravens Report from the Under Armour Performance Center. I'm Evan Washburn. When Justin Tucker's game-winning field goal bounced off the crossbar in Detroit, John Harbaugh had the same reaction that most of us had. Are you kidding me? And the head coach is well aware of how the bounce of a football can mean the difference between 2-1 and 1-2. And now it's all about getting to 3-1 in Denver, where the Ravens will face an undefeated Broncos team that is playing with a ton of confidence. For more on the game and what went down in Detroit, here's John Harbaugh with Garrett Downing.
Coach, thanks so much for the time. I appreciate it. So we got to start with the big kick of this week, Justin Tucker's historic 66-yard game winner. I want to go to the moment where you decide, I'm sending you out there. How confident were you at that moment that he was going to knock that through?
I don't know how confident you can ever really be, but I do know after we completed the pass and Sammy got the yards, it was third down, right? And we ended up trying to get a few more yards, but on third down, I saw Tucker out there lining up the kick already. He was at midfield. So I'm like, well, I think he thinks he can make it.
Yeah.
So it made me feel good about it.
For these first 3 games, it's been pretty wild just how close they've been. I mean, if you're a Ravens fan and you got high blood pressure, it's been a wild ride to start the season. How is it playing in these games, and do you think this benefits you as you look forward, knowing how to win close games?
I definitely do think it benefits you. You know, you can kind of look at that thing and say, you know, what was it like being in that moment? How crazy was it? Well, it wasn't any crazier than the week before. You know, it was just two amazing situations right in a row there that just laid out for us in a crazy way. But to win the 2 games, to know that you have the ability to come back and win games like that, kind of a never say die attitude. It's something you hope for with your team, and I know our guys have that.
You've been around football, you know, your whole life. Is it strange or surreal when you're around something that's never happened before?
It is. You know, that was one of those moments where it was shocking. And it was kind of fun, you know. It wasn't like it was surprising, and we mugged it up a little bit just in that moment, like, wow.
I liked your turn to the camera. Yeah, that was well done.
Thank you. But it's an honor to be a part of it. You know, you're grateful to be a part of that. Just like we were grateful the week before to be a part of that. You remember it the rest of your life. All of us, you know, Ravens Nation, we all we'll be able to talk about that. Well, hey, we'll run into each other 10, 20 years from now, and you'll be, remember that? Remember Detroit? You know, those will be the moments that you have.
To me, it's up there with like the Mile High Miracle. And it's one of those where you're talking about, everyone kind of remembers their own story. They have a story of where they were in that moment. And you're going back to Denver this week. What are your thoughts as you look ahead to this team and the challenge that they present?
Yeah, it's just an undefeated team. I mean, these guys are playing really well, all three phases. Quarterback Teddy Bridgewater, he's playing at a very high level. The defense is very talented, high level. Coach Fangio, all those guys do a great job. So the stadium is always nuts. The team is always good. So first thing you got to do is you got to stop the run, because they're going to try to run the ball on you downhill and to the edge. So we've got to do a great job against the run. We'd love to get them into 3rd and long if we could, and they're going to try to stay out of 3rd and long as much as they can. You control the quick passing game. You got to take care of the shots. They throw go routes and they throw post routes. So oftentimes off of just drop back pass. Sometimes they throw combination chunk routes off of play action. Those are all the things we're going to have to do a good job of defending. But we're ready. We're looking forward to it. We can't wait for the challenge. It's the next one up, and let's go play.
Awesome, Coach. Well, thank you so much for the time, and good luck this week in Denver.
My pleasure.
Coming up next on Ravens Report, it's time for the Billick Breakdown. And this week, the former head coach is going to take a deep dive into that impressive 4th and 19 conversion, Mark Andrews' big day, and where this Ravens offense needs to go from here.
Brian Billick's Breakdown is powered by Microsoft, the official tablet of the Baltimore Ravens.
Welcome back to Ravens Report, presented by MedStar Health. I'm Evan Washburn. Sunday's game in Detroit will be remembered for the kick, but there's so much more to be taken from the win, both good and bad. Offensively, the Ravens were able to move the ball consistently, but definitely left some points on the field. Mark Andrews had a big day with 5 catches and 100-plus yards, but 3rd down was a struggle, with the Ravens going 1 for 10 on the money down. And for a closer look at all of it, here's Brian Billick with the Billick Breakdown.
Good road win for the Ravens, and I know the expectations were higher against a team like Detroit, but when you go on the road and get a win on the road, it is huge. And to forget what the expectations were, particularly in the way they did it. They came back after so many things were against them. Looks like the game was not going to happen their way, and fought their way back through it. A lot of positives in the game. They had 5 explosive plays, did the Ravens, to only 2 by the Lions. And that's the kind of ratio you want to maintain. The Ravens ran for 116 yards, surpassing 100 yards for the 42nd straight game, to pull within 1 of the NFL record set by the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1974 through 77. And of course, Mark Andrews had a big game, 5 receptions for over 100 yards. Let's look at a couple of the receptions that Andrew had, because it was kind of a variation on a theme, and Lamar did a good job reading it. The very first one, you can see he's going to set a bunch route here, and he's at the top with this bunch. And what they do is they crossed Andrews in behind 2 shallow routes on the bottom of the formation. Clearly, Detroit wanted to play a passive zone, and so they were going to be these holes in this intermediate area. And that's exactly where Andrews was able to show up, and Lamar did a good job in reading it. Now you're going to see Andrews here. He's at the slot at the bottom in a 2x2, and this is a classic, what we used to call a 3-level throw. You're going to go vertical at the bottom. Okay, that's going to pull coverage. Andrews is running kind of the intermediate route with a corner with the shallow route underneath. Lamar does a great job. Again, very passive zone by the Detroit Lions. They did not want to get beat with big plays down the field. So nice job of Lamar finding him in that 15 to 20 yard range underneath the deep route and on top of the shallow route. Now, it's kind of the same mentality. We're going to come back here and we're going to see in a 2x2 formation, you're going to see Andrews coming all the way across from the top, but instead of shallow routes, they go vertical at the bottom to clear that out. It's the same kind of play. As you can see, you got vertical routes. He's working to that 15 to 20 yard area in behind the shallow route at the bottom. So again, this is a little bit different type of 3-level throw. Nice job, nice patience by Lamar, waiting for that to clear out and then hitting Andrews again on another big play on all kind of the same concepts. Now, we got to talk a little bit about some of the negative things that happened, obviously. 1 and 10 on 3rd down, that can't happen. Last week against Kansas City, they obviously were very, very good. 1 for 10 is something obviously they've got to give some focus to. They lost the time of possession, which is something you don't really normally see a lot. And of course, the 3 drops by Marquise Brown. That's not going to happen again. I don't know what was going on. So those are kind of mistakes that can be overcome. Now we got to talk about Justin Tucker a little bit. This guy is a force in the NFL. The combination of Justin Tucker with playing good defense, what they do running the ball, Tucker's now made 50 straight field goals in the fourth quarter or overtime, which is amazing. 7 of those were 50-plus yards. He's never missed a kick in the final minute of regulation, 16 for 16. He is such a huge part of the equation for the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to need that going into Denver. Teddy Bridgewater's playing very, very well. Playing 3 out of the 4 on the road is always a challenge for the Ravens. So going into Denver is going to be tough. But this combination of good defense, get the third down corrected. Obviously, Marquise Brown's not going to drop the ball like that 2 games in a row. And they have what they need with, obviously, Justin Tucker in their back pocket to win on the road in Denver.
So as Coach Billick referenced, numbers don't always tell the entire story. The Ravens are top 5 in total offense, but still have plenty of room for improvement. And they'll get an opportunity this week against one of the top defenses in the NFL in the Denver Broncos, who are first in the league in points allowed with an average of just 8 points surrendered through the first 3 games. Now it's important to note their opponents a combined 0-9 this season. So the Ravens will definitely present a different challenge on Sunday. Some keys for this game. Offensively, I'm with Coach Billick. The Ravens have to be better on third down. 1 for 10 against Detroit and just 30% this season. We know what they can do on fourth down, but you have to imagine they'd like to be better on third down. Defensively, sacks are a priority. Just 5 through the first 3 games. And we know Wink can dial up the blitz to frustrate quarterbacks, but they'd like to get them down on the ground a bit more. That's it for this week's show. Thanks so much for watching, and never miss a moment of the action. Make sure to download the Ravens TV app on your Roku, Apple, and Fire TV devices. We'll see you right back here next week on Ravens Report.